Welcome to Gooner Pavilion, and this is our three ups and three downs on the Champions League game. And Arsenal needed a response after that Midlands defeat. This Champions League away trip to Club Brugge had all the ingredients of a get-right game. Three goals, a clean sheet, and we found some comfort and solace in Europe. It wasn't spectacular, it just needed to be. And some of the goals were absolutely brilliant. Guys, let's get into our three ups and three down for this Champions League game. Okay, first up for me, guys, is going to be Madueke. Madueke took his moment twice. Two goals, two moments of real quality. Arsenal took the opportunity to rest a number of players, especially with the mounting injury that we've been having. And the front line, had Madueke started with Martinelli, who's also been brilliant in this Champions League campaign. And Madueke created something out of nowhere. There was nobody else, no Saka in the team, no Rice, no Trossard. Step up Madueke. And that's exactly what he did. Direct running, and what a glorious finish. Took the players out, boom, shook him off, shifted the ball, and he had only one thing on his mind: to absolutely bang that in the top corner. It was a brilliant goal. And as soon as the goal went in, Arsenal just took a deep breath, because the first goal was always going to be important against a team that you should naturally, be the better of. And so it was very important that Arsenal took that first goal. But more importantly, it was great that Madueke, did that. Yeah, a lot of Arsenal fans are going to owe him an apology, especially about what happened in the offseason when the people were signing petition. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, let's go into our second of Martinelli's goal. And Martinelli has now scored 5 goals in the Champions League, which is really ridiculous. He's kept this form going. Every single Champions League game, he's scoring goals, and long may that continue. His third goal, for me, really mattered, because I think it really showed the fact that he's returning into a great place. His timing, movement, composure. Listen, after suffering a lot of injuries, Martinelli, he's coming back into form, and Arsenal are going to need him. We're going to need him, when we go into this December game, when we can rotate the team and really show the depth and strength that Arsenal has. So this was a reminder to Mikel Arteta that he's still there and he can still do the business. Right. Third off for me, guys, the fact that we were able to rotate, this squad. And listen, this was always a game that was going to be an easier one for us to, leave a few players out, but still get a really good outcome. And I love what we did after that Midlands defeat. This was just the tonic that Arsenal needed. A 3 away performance in Europe, clean sheet. We just were professional. And for me, the fact that we didn't get any more injuries in this game is definitely, an up, because we've just been having, the rub of the green, well, in the other way around when it comes to injuries. So really happy about that. Okay, as we always do, we're going to look at some downs, things that Arsenal can improve. And it's always tough, to pick out, areas where we can improve. But when I look at that game, and despite the scoreline, Arsenal should have had more goals. Gabriel Jesus came back into the squad, and actually he's also an up, for me. Not playing for over a year and being, constantly having lots of injuries. It was so good that he got back. And listen, the players were trying desperately to get him that goal, and it would have been a fitting end, to the game if Gabriel Jesus had scored a goal, but it wasn't meant to be. But we had a lot of, opportunities hitting the post, stung the keeper a few times, and the keeper, was a bit decent. He kept a few, saves, so it was good. But yeah, we could have scored more. Second down for me, Raya had to work. He did. He had a few saves that he had to make. I mean, a few important saves, nothing, heroic or anything like that, but just necessary saves, right? And I think that that shows that he's mentally alert. But do you know what? I would have loved to see Kepa in this game. I know he potentially is going to play the Crystal Palace, cup game. But I would have thought this was a game that Kepa, can come in, and maybe that's what might happen in the next couple of games because yeah, there was every opportunity for us to do that. So that was a missed chance. And that makeshift defense, third down, Hincapié and Nørgaard, they didn't look exactly very comfortable, in the midfield. But they coped well. It wasn't sim. There were a lot of moments of hesitation, some recovery defending required, but they got through it, right? Which deserves a lot of credit, right? Not being the first choice, pairing as it were. But I think this game was just about us getting back on the horse. It was about us getting our composure back. That defeat to Villa really, really hurt the players, and you can see the emotions, when the goal went in. So what they needed was to get that behind them, take that out of their mind. And now we can go back on another run. And I feel like, with players that are coming back, and if we can get our defenders back, and I'm going to do a preview, of the Wolves game, just shortly after this. But I think there's a lot for us to be positive about. The fact that Madueke is finding himself among the goals. Martinelli found his rhythm. Jesus got minutes. So I think this was a good big reset button, for Arsenal. But guys, drop your thoughts, below. Was this the reset that Arsenal needed, the reset that you were looking for as well? Let me know as well in the comment section. And please don't forget to like and subscribe the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And I do appreciate all of you that keep coming back. And check out our next preview on the Arsenal versus Wolves. I'll actually be at that game on Saturday, so I'll be looking forward to enjoying that. And maybe I can bring you a couple of clips, from my trip to the Arsenal. So I'll see you in the next one.